Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Tobago. We're here at Amblin, an eye-catching condo situated in the seaside village of Buku. It is our location for today's episode, and we cannot wait to show you all this wonderful property has to offer. Also, in the next half hour, we've got lots in store for you as we recap the major events in Tobago over the past week. So stay with us for all the details. I'm Davia Chambers, and Let's Talk Tobago starts right now. The Tobago House of Assembly presented and debated the island's fiscal 2023 budget request. We've got a breakdown just for you. Nearly 700 families benefit from home improvement support from the Division of Settlements, Public Utilities and Rural Development. Planned Clinic Mondays are set to resume in-person sessions. And later, the NLTB Buccaneers Steel Orchestra gives thanks as the organization turns 55. We have all these stories and more for you when Let's Talk Tobago returns. Stay with us. Amblin is a quiet, charming condo. It's got 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms and can comfortably house 6 guests. You can also enjoy an excellent range of amenities, a fully equipped kitchen, a welcoming balcony and a pool. Whether it's a family vacation or a line with friends, there's room for you right here. The Tobago House of Assembly recently presented the island's fiscal 2023 budget request of almost $4 billion at the Assembly Legislature. Then it was the turn of the members to debate the contents of the budget. We have some highlights of the debate in this story. Have a look.
Proceedings for the $3.97 billion fiscal package presented by the Chief Secretary and Secretary for Finance, Trade and the Economy earlier on June 23, 2022 was now to be debated, pending majority approval in the legislature chamber. The estimates of revenue and expenditure for the Tobago House of Assembly for fiscal 2023 were scrutinized by the Minority Leader and Assemblyman for Darrell Spring Wim, Kelvin Morris, who cautioned the administration that its expectations may be improbable. While he commended some listed items, the Minority Leader questioned the feasibility of salary increases for URP and CPEP.
Given that the requested allocation in the estimates remained at $8 million for URP, the question is, how would such an increase be sustained?
The minority also questioned the administration's plans for several sectors, including the fishing industry.
While it was shared that the fishing industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, there was no clear plan on how we would tap into this industry to generate real revenue.
In her rebuttal, Assemblyman for Bell Garden, Glamorgan, Dr. Faith B. Israel, reminded the minority that the current administration has only been in office since December. Dr. B. Israel says the budget request laid by the Honorable Chief Secretary, Fali Augustine, remains within legal parameters.
If we look at all of the estimates, all of the $3.97 billion, because it really does represent the 6.9% of what we estimate the national budget to be. Because in 2000, there was a ruling that said we can get up to 6.9%.
Further contributions from the House endorsed the Chief Secretary's fiscal 2023 budget presentation.
The division should point to, in fiscal 2023, through the programs and projects identified, the division intends to start the redevelopment of agriculture, fisheries and forestry in Tobago to enable greater environmental and food security. The division will also participate actively in the formulation of Tobago's development plan and associated medium-term expenditure framework, which will provide the context in which its future annual expenditure programs, policies and incentives for the sector development will be designed.
Meanwhile, the Chief Secretary says stakeholder consultations will be ongoing for the 2023 budget.
We will continue that conversation, but one thing the PDP is known for is public engagement and speaking to the people of Tobago. We have never been fearful of that, and so that conversation will continue.
In the end, the motion was put to a vote and passed by way of simple majority. I'm Ryan McCool, for Let's Talk Tobago.
So we've shared the views of the Assemblymen on the fiscal 2023 budget request. But what are Tobagonians looking forward to? Well, our production crew took to the streets to find out from residents their budget expectations. Listen up.
The 2021-2022 fiscal year is nearing its end. As we speak, the Tobago House of Assembly is already conducting pre-budget consultations. That's why we have decided to take to the streets to find out what wishes you have for the upcoming financial year. Let's go.
I'd like to see a better bus service to go to the country. We need to get the expense down because you're working, you're not, your salary is the same and everything gone up sky high. So we need better infrastructure and better management. So I hope that they would manage the country, the island better.
Guys from Charlottesville, and we just catch with tail sometimes to get transportation. And we need better service. Better service. We need the food prices to drop. Everything just gone up. Money is not there and everything just gone up. You're going to grocery today, tomorrow you're going next day, everything gone up. And people have to live.
My expectation is for the government of Trinidad and Tobago to do better where food prices are concerned.
And Tong will say gratuity. Everybody is interested in gratuity. So too am I and my colleagues. Yeah, gratuity it is.
While the 2023 THA budget request moves ahead for further assessment, the public will still have the chance to offer suggestions via social media and other platforms catering for stakeholder engagement. I'm Ryan McCool for Let's Talk Tobago.
The Division of Settlements, Public Utilities and Rural Development continues to respond to the social needs of Tobagonians, especially the most vulnerable residents, through several of its programs. It's the motivation behind the island's single largest grant distribution ceremony held at Shaw Park Complex. We have more in this report. Rennie Kwao, Olympic medalist and one of this country's most decorated 400 meters athletes, now has his own home. Rennie was recently honored by the Division of Settlements, Public Utilities and Rural Development. He received keys to a home at Plymouth's Homes of Adventure.
It feels good, you know, all my hard work over the years. You know, I mean, it's no big deal. I mean, hard work pays off, so in the end, you know, I was expecting something like this, so I really appreciate it though.
Yes, I do really feel happy about it, and it's hard work paid off. We're very happy.
Additionally, close to 700 families in Tobago got checks to improve their homes. In all, $9 million was presented to the families, making it the largest single disbursement by the Settlements Division.
These times call for financial acumen, prudence, strategic direction, and most importantly, compassion. This is also important to me and Assistant Secretary George. Nothing is more important than caring for our people, and today's disbursement of $9.2 million in our public commitment to upholding our oath of office.
And is an indication that we understand the need to respond to the growing social needs of our island's people, especially the most vulnerable.
Chief Secretary of Tobago, Honorable Fali Augustine, says his administration aims to develop the greatest little island on the planet. The first step, protecting and caring for the most vulnerable.
We know what it is to have humble dwellings, but dwellings that are well taken care of, clean and immaculate. This program is part of a larger dream that we have for the Tobago that we are called to serve. It's a dream that we will have home ownership that Tobagonians can afford. And you should never be in a position that you can't afford to live here. It's a dream that when people are affected by natural disasters, you can immediately, without a whole heap of red tape, get help.
Our mandate is to provide an adequate standard of living for everyone, regardless of color, complexion, denomination, that is religious, or political persuasion.
And those who received grants were eager to begin the necessary work to improve their homes.
Yes, I thought they had forgotten me, but when I got the call to come today, I felt really elated. Yeah, I am not going to stick because I've been waiting for so long. Yeah, So I'm going to get my hands on material and begin work as soon as possible.
The check distribution ceremony was hosted at Shore Park Complex. It's time for a break, but up next, the newly installed board of the Tobago Tourism Agency shares some of its plans for Tobago. We'll tell you more when Let's Talk Tobago returns. Stay with us.
I decided to take the vaccine to first provide protection for myself and my family and the people around me, including my co-workers and everybody I come into contact with, including the public. In the course of my duties, I am heavily engaged in public discussion, public meets, and I do a lot of investigations in the public. So I decided, based on the empirical data provided and based on advice of my physician, that the vaccine is the way to go to protect us all. So, vax up, protection starts with us.
Staycations, airlifts, and sustainability. Those are some areas of focus for the new board of the Tobago Tourism Agency Limited, or TTAL. Omadara Mills caught up with Chairman Alicia Edwards to get the scoop on some of the agency's plans for tourism in Tobago. Here's more.
In the coming months, Destination Tobago will participate in a number of road shows and travel markets. This will ensure Tobago's source market partners are aware that the island is ready to welcome visitors and provide them with great memories. That's just one of the plans of the new 12-member Board of Directors at the Tobago Tourism Agency Limited, TTAL. Another area of focus for the new board is making the most out of the airlift opportunities, especially the one coming out of the United States.
One of the things that we're hopping on is the fact that there's now a direct flight between JFK and Tobago. Previously, the agency had no direct marketing interaction or support in the US market, and we're working now to create a situation where we have a rep in the US market. The links, first of all, the diaspora demand, and also getting into just generic demand from that particular market.
And even as we look to attract more foreign visitors, the chairman of TTAL gives the assurance that our domestic market will not be neglected. So promoting staycations is another key factor in increasing visitor arrivals.
The second thing that we would be interested in is focusing a little more on domestic marketing. What COVID has shown us is that while it's all right for us to focus on the external market for tourism, we cannot get away from the staycations and the domestic demand that can help to buoy us through a future rough period.
Since the board's appointment about 3 months ago, there's been questions about the Tobago Beyond branding. Ms. Edwards says her team sees the valuable potential this label has for the island.
The Tobago Beyond Ordinary gives us an opportunity to build out and round out our marketing message to really showcase all the things that make Tobago special, or harvest, or culture, the way that we could just go and buy fresh fish, and all the things that just make my island beautiful. So we definitely will be working on using local content, using local influencers, more local music, more local shots, basically selling the destination from the eyes of a Tobagonian.
The new board will also continue to support the agency's sustainability strategies, like facilitating the Green Key and Blue Flag certification programs.
They have gotten the Green Key and they're working on the Blue Flag certification, and we think that if we're going to continue to sell ourselves as a Beyond Ordinary island, those international certifications will help us to position ourselves properly in that market, and also as well to perpetuate the narrative that we're actually doing the things that we say we want to be doing.
The board will also work with TTAL's employees as well as local stakeholders to strengthen the island's offerings to visitors. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
Atlantic storms are not to be taken lightly. In fact, they can be downright devastating. That's why the Disaster Readiness Authorities and the first responders in Tobago are making sure the island can respond to emergencies brought on by natural disasters. And following recent weather activity, we look at how the island has been preparing. Here's more in this story.
Planning and preparation can make a huge difference, especially when it comes to getting ready for the hurricane season. The most recent reminder came on June 28th and 29th, with the Trinidad and Tobago Met Service announcing that the country had been placed on storm watch. Thankfully, the island was spared severe storm activity. However, the Tobago Emergency Management Agency TEMA and cooperating agencies were ready to respond to any resulting emergency.
Were we prepared? Yes, we were. We have been down this road already. It's not our first rodeo with a tropical storm level strength. We have the history of managing Hurricane Ivan, the November severe weather of 2004, and the following year, 2005, we had also the Tropical Storm Emily. All of these events we would have managed quite clearly. That we would have activated the Emergency Operations Center just about 24 hours ago, and during that period we would have received 11 reports so far as to what may have happened. During this window of operations, or this theater of operations, the leadership of having the Honorable Chief Secretary taking charge and leading this charge, it was very, very easy for us to coordinate this event. And that gave rise to a level of preparedness and readiness.
This rainy season is expected to be an active one, which will put emergency responders to the test. Mr. Stewart says his team takes the hurricane season seriously. He says they're prepared to manage emergency situations, and Mr. Stewart is calling on Tobagonians to prepare too, so they can be resilient in the face of a disaster. In addition, the island already has many volunteers who will support its efforts.
This is what gives rise to the CERT 1000 Strong program, which garner at this stage over 625 CERT registrants. This gives us the manpower that is so much needed, especially if we have what you may call a catastrophic event. So we are preparing Tobago for, and we want the Tobagonians themselves in all of the sectors, the private sector, the public sector, the community level, to build resilience going forward.
Tobago wasn't hard hit by the passing tropical wave. However, to give a report.
11 reports so far as to what may have happened. Among those 11 reports, they all happen in 11 different jurisdictions or villages across the island of Tobago. Some of which comprised of 2 roof reports, and most of them, 4 of them being fallen trees and impacting other areas. One of them would have been a house that collapsed completely, and that would be considered to be the most severe.
To ensure you're as ready as possible for any emergency, here's a few tips you can follow. Make sure you have a battery-operated radio. Secure important documents in a waterproof bag or container. Get a properly working flashlight and extra batteries. And of course, find out which emergency shelter is closest to you. I'm Kern DeFreitas for Let's Talk Tobago.
Just like people and animals, plants can get sick. And when they do, you can take them to be diagnosed and treated just as you would visit a doctor. Umar Mills tells us about a clinic for plants that the public will soon be able to access. Here's this story.
I decided to see what the Plant Protection Unit's plant clinic is like. On this particular day, I brought samples of a few plants like chocolate mint and rosemary. Plant protection specialist Casey Marie Boucher Koon asked me a few questions, made several observations about the samples, then checked them out using a microscope and came up with a diagnosis. It turns out the chocolate mint has been infected with a soft scale insect, while the rosemary plant is infected with an armored scale insect. Casey Marie then gave me several recommendations for treating with the pests. That's the process clients can expect when they come to Plant Clinic Mondays, a service that will restart in July of this year.
Now that things have improved concerning COVID-19, we will now be reopening our plant clinics on the first Monday in July, which is the 4th of July 2022, and that is now going to be returning to the face-to-face format of the plant clinic setting. That clinic will be available from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. every Monday, except on public holidays, of course. The clinic serves to give you a real-time response to a pest or disease issue. So when you come into the clinic, you will get an answer to your question. You will get the recommendation to help you within a short space of time.
Plant Clinic Mondays will take place at the Division of Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment and Sustainable Development's head office. It's located on the corner of Milford Road and Sherwin Road. The mandate of the unit is to aid in food security by reducing crop losses brought on by pests and diseases. So in-person plant clinics is a great way to find out the state of plant health on the island.
What it also does for us on a national basis is that it's a form of soft surveillance. So something might be happening latently in the community, and because of the plant clinic, once people start reporting strange occurrences in terms of plant health issues early, we would be able to detect plant health issues at a faster rate, rather than waiting for an explosion of a said pest to know that we have a problem on the island.
But plant clinics aren't the only services provided by this unit. The plant protection specialist tells us of their other functions.
The services we provide to help farmers and growers alike are diagnostic field visits. That is where we come out to you depending upon a request. Most of our requests come via the extension department, or you can make direct requests to the plant protection unit. We also do some laboratory diagnostics. We also do plant clinics, and we are also responsible for surveillance and eradication exercises. We also do some training for farmers and home gardeners in the diagnosis of common pests and their management.
Even as the face-to-face plant clinic Mondays are to resume, people can still access the virtual plant clinics via WhatsApp. So if you have a plant problem or you want more information, you can call 482-7528. I'm Amadara Mills for Let's Talk Tobago.
So we have to take another break, but do not go away. Let's Talk Tobago. We'll be right back. The Roxborough Police Youth Club is taking its activities outdoors once again. This time, the club is reintroducing its Night Football League, which is giving young residents yet another opportunity to occupy their time in a very meaningful way.
The Roxborough Police Youth Club has used the slowdown of the last 2 years to regroup, recollect and re-emerge as the club put on the Chief Secretary's Cup football competition. The league has been around for the past 25 years. It was born as a means of giving young people a positive outlet. Club leader Collis Hazel says the tournament has had the desired effect. He's happy to see it make its return.
Because we were faced with a lot of break-ins that were taking place in the night, we decided that we must do something to create leisure opportunities for people in the night so that they will not fall prey to social ills in society. And hence the reason why this competition was born.
Sport teaches us values like fairness, team building, discipline, inclusion and respect. Sport and recreation aid the holistic development of youth and for the greatest talents can provide a fulfilling career. This is why Chief Secretary Honorable Fali Augustine believes the league is beneficial to the Roxborough community.
It's important that we continue to use sports as an avenue through which we could develop communities, especially that subsector of young men. That subsector of young men who are most likely, statistically, to get into trouble. And so I want you all to play with your hearts out. I want you all to play clean, play honestly. I'm wishing you again all the best.
Special commendation were given to the players who exercised patience even after the hiatus due to the COVID-19 pandemic.
You, the footballers, without you, this competition could not have been possible. You have stood in the trenches and you have worked hard and you continue to play hard and you continue to support the league. And we are very grateful that you as community leaders have continued to see the success of sports and particular night football.
12 teams are participating in the league. The winners will walk away with the grand prize of $30,000. I'm Kern De Freitas for Let's Talk Tobago.
NLCB Buccaneers Steel Orchestra has reached an impressive milestone. The organization recently turned 55. It's been one of the most consistent steel orchestras on the island over the years, and so its 55th birthday was a fitting occasion to give thanks. We have the highlights in this story. The NLCB Buccaneers came alive last weekend as the Steel Orchestra celebrated its 55th anniversary with a Thanksgiving service.
55 years means that there is something done in the orchestra that was not done by you. It was done by Almighty God. So Thanksgiving must not be limited to this evening. It mustn't be limited to if we are called to give thanks, we give thanks. It must be a lifestyle.
According to Secretary of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation, Councillor Tashia Burris, the band remains resilient, consistent and well organized. She says this is illustrated in NLCB Buccaneers earning many titles, including the first place medium band in National Panorama 2013 and its record as a finalist for over 10 consecutive years.
Steel orchestras and other groups form the bedrock of our communities and have been responsible over the years for honing some of our best and brightest talents. They teach the values of commitment, discipline, love for community and country, and respect for oneself and others. Undoubtedly, the contribution of the Buccaneers Steel Orchestra to Tobago's cultural development and entertainment landscape is noteworthy.
I think the steel band could expand so much more effectively if I worship on Sabbaths, if on a Sabbath morning or on a Sunday morning at church, if we had more steel pans to mix with the conventional instruments to give the service that lift. And I want to encourage Buccaneers to consider that market. I'm making it public now.
Also bringing greetings on behalf of the Pan fraternity were Chairman Pan Trimbago, Beverly Ramsey Moore, and Chairman of Pan Trimbago Tobago Region, Celicia James.
I am so elated. I'm so happy to be here celebrating with NLCB Buccaneers. You know, in everything we ought to give God thanks for his goodness. You know, his goodness just keep running down. Just keep running down over us. And for a steel orchestra to be here celebrating 55 years, it tells you that a lot has gone on in terms of the strength and the power of the leadership of this organization. Steel band organization is not an easy thing. All of them know that already.
A band with longevity, perseverance, with skilled and talented players, a pillar in their community. So cheers to NLCB Buccaneers to another 55 years.
Prayers were also delivered for the band and its executive. We've come to the end of yet another edition of Let's Talk Tobago, and as always, we thank you for watching. Please email us with your comments or queries about the program, and be sure to visit our website, like our Office of the Chief Secretary Facebook page, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. For more information on Amblin Condo, you can contact Ambika at 759-0598 or email bikarjune@gmail.com. For more House to Yours, I'm Davia Chambers, along with the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly, wishing you a safe and fantastic week.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning. Good morning.
Viewers, it's 7 a.m. and this is the Tobago Updates morning show coming to you here live from the Port Mall in Scarborough. As we continue to give God thanks for life, I am Julian Skeet.
And I am Maria Richardson George, and this is the day that the Lord has made, and we will rejoice and be glad in it. Good morning to you, Tobago. Good morning, Trinidad. Those of you in the Caribbean and those of you viewing us on the live, good morning, good morning. Julian Skeet, it is Thursday. You know I always enjoy Thursdays. Why?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's the day before Friday.
Always.
So certainly, it's a beautiful Thursday, the 7th of July. And I think it's most fitting and appropriate for us to start by indicating parents, students, those of you that were panicked before.
On
the
Tuesday.
Graduation takes place today.
Bishop's High School.
7th of July, Bishop's High School. All right. For those who went into a little bit of uneasiness there.
Oh, yes.
So it takes
My
place
apologies.
today.
My apologies.
And therefore, we want to wish the very best to Bishop's High School for the graduation. And we look forward to what we know as is being described by all those schools that have gone before, a successful and enjoyable time and a proud moment for our students, parents, and indeed staff, and all those stakeholders out of Bishop's High School.
Most definitely. So, again, viewers, I want to apologize for that misinformation on Tuesday. And Julian said, Ria, today is the graduation, okay? Today. So definitely, so congratulations going out to all those boys and girls who will be graduating there at Bishop's High School. Michael Paria, Kalia Tony, and the rest of the crew. Congratulations going out to you guys. We're really proud of you. But this is just the beginning. This is not, yes, it's the end of one season of your lives, but it is also the beginning of a new. So, and school ain't done. I need to put it there because a lot of them have this perception. A lot of fifth formers who've graduated or graduating have this perception that are done school, are finished. No. The sky is the limit. We keep going.
Correct, because there's still so much more to be achieved in life. It's kind of, you're moving from one phase into another, and that's important to note because there's so much more that we look forward to in terms of your success, your growth, your development as young persons. Making Tobago proud. We need you. We need you in terms of making that significant contribution. As we head on across, Ria, what else do we have happening in the Tobago space? Or should I drop a little hint? Today, I'm told through the Division of Community Development, Youth Development and Sport, being led by our Secretary, Pastor Terence Baines, and Assistant Secretary Wayne Clark. All roads lead to Castara. It's the Road Market 6 happening at the Castara Beach facility, and that's today, Thursday, the 7th of July, starting from 2 p.m. And there's the connection between the full lineup, Road Market sporting activities from 2 p.m., head on into Road Market from 4, official ceremony from 5, and let's just say the events continue straight into the well-known tourist event, the bonfire that takes place in Castara. So it's almost a full day into night.
Into night. And once you have the time, I understand that it is, the experience is worthy of experiencing. So, and there are a lot of persons in Tobago who did not know about it. And they've never been to it. I've never been there. Have you been? Have you been to the bonfire?
I've had a thing or two.
A thing or two. Okay.
Enjoyable experience, and I'm certainly looking forward to it. I think today I will get a better chance to have the full experience because I'll be up there connecting with the Road Market 6, showcasing a lot of our persons involved in craft and different areas in Tobago, small business entities and so on, and then transition straight into the official ceremony and so on, then into the night's activities. So I'm really looking forward to getting the full experience this time around. I've had a thing or two, but I'm looking forward to the full experience this time around.
Well, we hope, Julian, that after your thing or two, you would be able to get up in the morning and be on the show tomorrow morning, okay?
By the good graces, because really we've got an exciting program as well happening in the morning.
Yes.
In the
Very
morning,
exciting.
we've got the focus in the morning taking place on men, as we speak, and that is obviously supported and sponsored by the Division of Health there, really bringing out that greater responsibility. And we're gonna have, it's an exciting program up tomorrow as well, that we're certainly looking forward to. Our men folk in focus, so we look forward to men, women, boys and girls all tuning in to the Tobago Updates morning show.
All right. Well, Julian, we should be heading over into news in...
Yes, news in 90 seconds this morning.
Okay, we understand no news.
Okay, all right. All right, we have a slight change there. We have a slight change there in the mix. So that means we are heading on into birthdays. Birthdays this morning. Let me get to my birthday lineup.
All right, so we kick things off this morning, Julian, with this lovely lady who actually celebrated her birthday on the 1st of July, and this is Miss Tiny, Tiny Thomas of Government House Road. So you hear the name usually on 98.1 and the other radio stations, Miss Tiny out of Tobago. So viewers in Trinidad and the Caribbean, if you've heard of Miss Tiny on 98, this is Miss Tiny. The other woman, I love to call her the other woman. Yes, Miss Tiny, happy birthday going out to you, belated, but nonetheless, and this is, you're looking at beautiful 81 years there. 81 years she celebrated last Friday. Love going out to you.
All right, so that's Miss Tiny in the mix. And this is no stranger to Tobago, our very own Shamari Hector, former assemblyman out there. And we want to wish you a happy, happy birthday. As Shamari likes to say, activate, it's your birthday, man. Activate, activate. Trust that you have an enjoyable birthday. Happy birthday, Shamari Hector.
And Paletta Johnny Williams is celebrating her birthday today. Auntie P, as she's fondly called. We trust that you have a great one. Love going out to you as well.
What do we have on the lineup this morning? Amina Morgan. So we want to wish Amina Morgan a happy, happy birthday coming out from the Tobago Updates family. Enjoy yourself.
And then we've got Ronaldo Martino. Happy birthday going out to you, Ronaldo. Have a great one. Stay safe. Whatever you do, be safe with it.
All right, and we have in the mix there Danzel Cordner. And this birthday greeting is not only going out from the Tobago Updates family, but birthday blessings coming from your sister, Rhea Orr, very own faithful viewer here at the Tobago Updates morning show. So birthday blessings going out to Danzel Cordner from your sister, Rhea Orr, and the entire Tobago Updates family. Thank you so much for continuing to connect with us, each and every one of you. Rhea, it's a beautiful kind of day, beautiful kind of day.
Beautiful kind of day, yes, Julian. One of those, let me tell you, I love Thursdays. Okay, not only because it's the day before Friday, you know, but this morning particularly, it is a very cool morning. There's no rain, no heavy sun just yet, so it's just starting up just right.
And very much at that, it takes us straight into the rundown for this morning.
That's right.
You know, as you said, cool and just right. We start this morning
with cool and just right.
Cool and just right. Chatting with one of those, you know, very senior, very experienced, you know, within the system and so on. You know, as we like to say, holding high office, but very much easygoing and in touch with the people. And this morning we're beginning by talking diplomacy, and we're speaking about the THA and the central government. And folks, we're going to be chatting with none other than independent Senator Dr. Maria Dillon Remy. And I'm sure you're saying, yes, that's her personality. He described it just right. All right, so we're going to begin the discussions this morning with Dr. Maria Dillon Remy in the conversation. And then who do we have on the lineup?
And then we move over to Candace, as Candace chats with Mersha Ramsey Louis, Regional Coordinator for Tobago Crown and Sashes Limited, about the Miss Universe TNT Tobago auditions.
All right, and then we wrap this morning chatting about Baines Ball Bash. And yes, folks, you heard it right, Baines Ball Bash. We'll be chatting with Assemblyman Terence Baines, the area representative for Bethel New Grange this morning. So he'll be giving us a little insight into that initiative. All right, so that's who we have on the rundown for this morning, folks. And we want to continue to thank you so much for the love and support for the Tobago Updates morning show. And those of you continuing to tune in, we thank you. Those of you joining us via Gaia, via M&E TV, Street 91.9 FM, those listeners on Smash Radio, those of you on TobagoUpdates.com joining us via YouTube, and those of you on Facebook, we want to remind you this is your opportunity to share the live, share the live, share the live.
The Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection presents Men and Fatherhood, the discussion, 8th July 2022, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. The topics to be discussed, masculinity and fatherhood. Nigel Phillips, Gender Affairs Officer, Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection. Kern Walker, Manager Community Residence for Children, Building Healthy Relationships. Michael Stewart, Founder of Be Male Examples Now, BMEN, and motivational speaker. This is a day for men, the 8th of July, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. only on Tobago Updates.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
Excel Spa by Haley, where our highly trained staff are ready to deliver the top-class services in facial massages, waxing, nail enhancement and body treatment. We are ideally located at Coco Avenue, Susolines, Tobago. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TripAdvisor, or you can call us on 730-0149. Excel Spa by Haley. Relax, renew, and rejuvenate.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome back. It's 7:09 a.m. and in this segment we are chatting with Dr. Maria Dillon Remy. This is the Tobago Updates morning show. Morning, and welcome.
Good morning, Julian. It's nice to be here.
Yes, it's indeed a joy to have you on.
Yes,
This is a privileged moment for us to welcome you on the Tobago Updates morning show. Now, this morning you're here, in your capacity as independent senator with Trinidad and Tobago Parliament, having, giving service at that national level, and we want to just track back for a bit for the benefit of those viewing within the region, those abroad, and so on. They see and they may make their assumptions, not understanding the separation of that of an independent senator. So we want to start on that premise in terms of explaining the role of an independent senator and how does one get to the point of becoming an independent senator.
Okay, so when the Senate was set up, the Republican Parliament, when it was set up in when we got in the Republican status in 1974, in the Senate, okay, so you have the House voted government and opposition, or any version of it, 2, 3 parties, a coalition or whatever. That's in the House. These are people who are elected, and then the Senate are people who are selected, either on the on the advice of the leader of government. That's the government senators, on the advice of the leaders of the opposition senators, and then the president, in his or her own decision, other persons from society who they think will be able to contribute to the governance at that level. So there are 16 government senators, 6 opposition senators, and 9 independent senators. So 15, if you, and that includes the president of the Senate. So you have a balance. So you cannot have a bill passing in the Senate which requires a constitutional majority without the minds of the independent senators. The others vote according to the party lines. But independent senators bring another view. And they could agree with the government, or they could agree with the opposition, or they could bring an entirely different view. So as an independent senator, you bring thoughts and ideas to the discussion that are not just on party lines.
So in terms of looking at it from a broader perspective, so what do you say to those persons out there that probably give the view that nobody's really independent, everybody has a view, or everybody has a perspective?
So everybody has a perspective, that is so, but it's not a partisan perspective. The government senators are under their whip, their leader of government business. They don't vote outside of what the government says. Opposition, the same thing. They don't vote outside of what the opposition leader of opposition said. But in the on the independent bench, we have a coordinator. We do not have a leader. It's a coordinator of the independent bench. So you have literally 9 people who could vote the way they want. We are not under any obligation to do it. And it is based on what we think is best in relation to what we have before us. Yesterday was one of those days with the bail amendment bill, the extension. It was one of those days. The independent senators voted 3 voted for, 1 abstained, and the others voted against. So the bill was not passed.
Yeah, and that's the situation, and that does not present a challenge for the simple fact that independent senators can each have their own perspective in terms of making a determination when it comes to the point of voting.
Absolutely.
So let's
Absolutely.
let's delve in a little further now. For many, I should at least say for my generation, when you speak of independent senators on the bench, we know the days of Dr. Eastland Mackenzie from Tobago, having served for an extended period as well, and then we fast forward in terms of again from Tobago. Do you feel it is critical and it is important in terms of ensuring that on that independent bench there is Tobago representation by virtue of residence as well as capacity and skill set to be able to contribute at the level of the Parliament?
I am of that view. We had actually our first independent senator. I was looking through the Parliament website. It was Olive Sawyer. I didn't even remember that. And then Eastland Mackenzie, and then Annette Alfred, and then Dr. Victor Wheeler. And there are some others who were not resident in Tobago, like David Quamina and James Armstrong and Eric Sincere. They were all from Tobago, but some are resident in Tobago and some not. So I think it's necessary. And apparently, according to the president, when she came into office and was appointing persons, she realized that there was nobody there from Tobago who was on the independent side, and therefore she sought to find someone. How do you become an independent senator? As selected by the president, I don't know. She does her reviews and she does ask questions, I would imagine. But I was asked whether I was interested, and I considered it, and it was a heavy consideration because it's not my forte. I don't like I'm a backroom person. But I said, and this is why I made the decision. I said, you're there, you're praying for your leaders all the time. You're praying that people would be put in positions where they will make an attempt to do a good job. And you are being given an opportunity right now. What are you going to say? Go back to prayer or pray and? And I said yes, but it has not necessarily been a very comfortable position for me.
So bearing in mind where we are currently at, and you've been through these times, and I had the benefit, folks, I have to say, there I was thinking that I was just taking a flight across to Trinidad, and then, I happened to be seated right next to the independent senator, and then, you maximize that 20 minutes to get a sense as to where she's at and to benefit from her knowledge and experience. But the question is, do you feel a greater sense of responsibility in the Senate, particularly serving at a time where discussions regarding self-governance and autonomy is one of those things that would have been at the forefront?
So when I said yes, I made that my priority, getting internal self-government to Tobago. I was put on the Joint Select Committee for it, and I am still of the view that that is my purpose there. And for instance, right now I've been calling. I really do think that the bill should be taken from where it is and be brought back for the debate. And I really do think it's the responsibility of the people in Tobago to do that. The PDP campaigned on self-government, on wanting to have autonomy for Tobago, and I heard the Chief Secretary in his presentation of the budget talk about that. It now has to be actioned. I heard the Chief Secretary also say that the Deputy Chief Secretary is in Trinidad seeking to get that part of it. As I said on another station, I'm not sure how that is going to be done, but whatever needs to be done, as far as I'm concerned, Julian, it has to be done. And at the end of the day, it needs government and opposition support in the House of Representatives. And when you come to the Senate, it needs government and independent and opposition and/or opposition, because you can't pass a bill without the opposition with a special majority. So if government and independent, all of them vote for it, you can get a bill passed like that. But that is what is required, and I am not too sure what the strategy is, but I know that it is important. We cannot be going around in circles and circles and circles like this. 40 years so far, now 41, I am praying that we do not have to go through another 40 years in the way we have gone in the past. Always looking for something from Trinidad to say, listen, this is what we want, this is what we don't. And quarreling and like a football, Tobago, like another football, like you know, the 32nd, you know, colonization kind of thing. We don't want that. Tobago people would like to have not independence for what they said, they want to govern themselves. And I do think that it should be done. And now I'm saying, and as appeal to the PDP, it's appeal to the other parties in Tobago, like Mr. Ho Choi Charles, who has been there from the beginning, and other persons. The citizens of Tobago, we are not prepared to just sit back. And what I don't want to happen is that the bill comes back just before the next general election. That puts a whole different spin on it, and I really think we should be discussing it in sober times. And I hope that this is sober time, at least for Tobago. It may not be for Trinidad because they have local government coming up. And then everybody is already preparing for the next national elections. But please, Tobago's discussion should come at a time when we don't have a national election coming, looking over our shoulders.
So just give us again from your understanding, there are some that believe after the last, just as you mentioned, going into the last election, that the bill is gone and we missed that opportunity. Where is it at exactly at this point for the benefit of our viewers, just so that we understand the process?
So when the Joint Select Committee report came to the House, they started the debate. And there was I would say the basa, the confusion. And it was put to, I would say, line state. So the government, though, had it come over to this parliament. So it is right now waiting to come back out when the government and the opposition and the people from Tobago say it should be. At least this is how I see it. I am not sure exactly the actual rule, but it is not dead. I know that for a fact. It has not lapsed because they asked for it to be carried over to this parliament.
Right, so that's when the parliament resumes, because it's now on recess again for, it's usually July, August, just to be clear.
So, yes. No, it came from the last time it was being debated was the 11th Parliament.
Right.
It has come over to the 12th Parliament.
So it has not been debated in the 12th. So is it a case
not as yet, no,
right?
No.
Is it a case that it can be moved forward to the 13th, as in when the parliamentary term?
The 13th is at the end of the 5 years. So it's 5 years in each session. So this is the end of the second year of the 12th Parliament. So the third year of the 12th Parliament is coming up in September. So it is still there as far as I understand it. I could be wrong. But it is for the Tobago's people to find out from the leader right now in the House, in the Assembly Legislature.
And one of the reasons, again, just for the so that there's a clear understanding, the reason for putting it on pause perhaps is that should it come before the House and a decision is made, if for some reason not in favor, it cannot come back within that same period. Just clarify for us.
Yes, it cannot come back within that same period.
So therefore, there's a critical responsibility that the discussions happen at that level. And you have heard the call here coming from independent senators in terms of very specific at that to those who hold direct responsibility. And naturally, to lead that charge now would obviously be the current administration in terms of seeking to really unify and to move us forward. Chatting a little bit further, how has your experience been in terms of looking at broader, because there's one thing in relation to treating with issues in the parliament that are Tobago specific. What about those national issues? But however, Tobago is also affected in the mix, and therefore bringing that perspective. How has that experience been for you as an independent senator?
Right. So anytime I look at a bill, I always think of how would this affect? Well, I mean, first, it depends on what is being brought. For instance, a bail bill is not just Tobago, it's Trinidad and Tobago. So whatever contribution I would have made there would have had to do with general Trinidad and Tobago management. But I always seek to find out how would this affect Tobago. So I normally talk to different people in different places, you know, depending on what it is, as to how do you think, what importance do you think it is for Tobago. So even though it is a national bill, I would still look as far as what is Tobago is concerned. Well, of course, the budget is a no-brainer in a way, because I always look at the Tobago parts of the allocation to Tobago. But then I'm a physician, so I also look at it from the health point of view, and because there are other things like the environment and stuff like that, I would look at it from different point of view. But the other, I think for me, my passion has to do with leadership. So anytime I make a contribution, I try to think of how can we lead ourselves better as people from Trinidad and Tobago. Right now, I know we are not doing well. We are not doing well. We cannot be doing well where everything is seen in partisan terms. We cannot be doing well when everything, you either Tobago or Trinidad. We will do better when we start to think of things like our people first, or nation first, or party second, and then you as an, it is not just your individual matter or your party matter. It is Trinidad and Tobago first, which is the oath that we have taken. We are going to think of our nation first. And I think we are failing in that, particularly now. It is just very, very adversarial. And I don't know if it's healthy. I don't think it's healthy. And I don't know that our young ones looking at us are learning how to negotiate, how to speak to people, how to try to get your opinion over without being aggressive and stuff like that. Our children are not having a good experience as far as I see it. I would humbly say, this is how I see it.
There was a time in growing up, and we're winding down with the interview, but I have to bring in this part where it is as parents, as adults, and at that time, those growing up, you'd have been encouraged to watch the news and to follow current affairs and so on. Sadly, as you're rightfully saying, some of the examples, the language and so on that comes out of the parliament is not very much the best. Does that therefore please, are you one that's going to admonish the leadership that they got to do better, or is it also on the part of parents? What are your words of encouragement, for as we look to close this morning's interview, for the leaders, those parents, those in society, etc., holding responsibility and really at the end of the day, critical at that, have the responsibility in their hands in shaping the Tobago and the Trinidad and Tobago, in fact, that we want to be able to live in and enjoy.
As the leaders go, so the nation goes. It's very important what we do as leaders. So I speak first to the leaders, because the way you lead is going to guide how the people who are following, how they follow. And there's a passage of scripture that says, righteousness exalts a nation, and as you have leaders who are leading well, the nation would be led well, and the nation would follow well. So I think it's important. But I mean, the leaders don't come out from a vacuum. The leaders come out from homes. The leaders come out from communities. So therefore, it's important as to what happens in the home, what the parents teach you, what your school teaches you, what your community teaches you. Are you focused on nation, or are you focused on tribe? And we need to be focused on nation as leaders.
I'm not sure if you can address this in an independent senator context, but the question, as my grandmother says, in the history of the Tobago House of Assembly, the last time we would have had a change, and she likes to say party lines aside, the last time we had a change in Tobago, it was 2001, and there's always a sense of hope that things are going to get better, building on times gone by. Do you feel that's the same kind of atmosphere now with the most recent change again in leadership, as I said, party lines aside, with that sense of hope that there will be continued growth and development and building?
Okay, so Julian, I'll be very candid about that. My hope is in God, not in people. But yes, we at the Tobago people spoke that they needed a change. But at the end of the day, we are going to see by the action of the current group as to whether it's an exchange or whether it is a true change, by what they actually do. And there's already people talking about how, but I think it's early days yet. So yes, there is hope in my understanding, but at the end of the day, hope for what? We have to be rallied with a united vision. What do we want Tobago to look like? I mean, the PDP has said what they want Tobago to look like. The PNM has said want Tobago to look like. But what do the people of Tobago want Tobago to look like? And I think that is, at the end of the day, is where I would say the rubber will hit the road. So I am hopeful, and I'm trusting, first in God, and second in the people who are present there.
Excellent. Thank you very much there, Dr. Maria Dillon Remy, independent senator. And it's the kind of interview, folks, where you prepare yourself beforehand, and there's always still opportunities for learning. And we want to thank you so much for taking that opportunity to be here with us on the Tobago Updates morning show this morning. Much to be reminded of, but I like this central point coming out from our independent senator, folks. Responsibility comes back to each and every one of us being able to contribute to where we want to see our island and our nation go in that positive direction. And with that, folks, we head on over to the good stuff this morning, the good stuff segment. This morning we're recognizing Trinidad and Tobago netball team for the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. The squad includes Tobagonians Oprah Douglas, Smiley George McKetney, and Anisha Batiste. In addition, Kemba Duncan will serve as coach and Ash Legal as manager. Good luck to the team, and we want to say congratulations going out there to the entire team heading on out for the 2022 Commonwealth Games, and we say congratulations once again to the Trinidad and Tobago netball team. All right, viewers, so at this point, this is your opportunity, and we want to remind you this is your time to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Staying Alive, the benefit concert, Saturday, 9th July at O2 Park, Chagaramas. The Giants of Trinidad and Tobago on one stage.
Come and celebrate with us as we celebrate life and give thanks for the music. And we go down like kitty kill, kitty kill, kitty kill, kitty kill, kitty kill. We have a style like kitty kill, kitty kill, kitty kill.
Guess the band.
You want to know where we coming from? Say you want come look for me, yeah. If you're willing to have some fun, I will keep you company.
Staying Alive, the benefit concert.
There is nowhere else in the world you could see all of these giants on one stage.
Guess the band. Michelle Montano, Freetown Collective, 3 Canal, Orange Sky, plus many more artists to be announced. Tickets available online at islandetickets.com. All Häagen-Dazs outlets nationwide. And Ojo World, Saturday, 9th July at O2 Park, Chagaramas. Conquering all the obstacles.
Staying Alive, the benefit concert.
The Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection presents Men and Fatherhood, the discussion, 8th July 2022, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. The topics to be discussed, masculinity and fatherhood. Nigel Phillips, Gender Affairs Officer, Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection. Kern Walker, Manager Community Residence for Children, Building Healthy Relationships. Michael Stewart, Founder of Be Male Examples Now, BMEN, and motivational speaker. This is a day for men, the 8th of July, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. only on Tobago Updates.
Everybody only worrying.
Never ever worry, don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry, if your life can't get damaged bad. I tell them never ever worry, what I'm saying is true. So just consider, Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry, don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry, if your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry, what I'm saying is true. So just consider, Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry, if sickness catch you off guard. I tell them never ever worry, if times fall on you real hard. I tell them never ever worry, what I'm saying is true. So just consider, Tatil will always be here for you.
Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Joining us on Inside the Game is the former head coach of Tobago United, Peter Granville. We'll be breaking down the Trinidad and Tobago women football team defeat to Canada and much more. You can also have your say by sending your voice notes to 284-6597. Inside the Game, interactive, informative, and entertaining. Every Thursday from 8 to 9 p.m. only on Tobago Sports Live and Tobago Updates. Get inside the game.
Tobago, it's your turn. The N3ATT hosts its 2022 National Junior Championships at the Dwight York Stadium on July 9th and 10th at 10 a.m. on both days. Admission $40. Children under 12 are free. Come see the best junior athletes from across Trinidad and Tobago, including those from the 2022 Carifta Games. This is the last opportunity for athletes to attain the qualification standard for the World Under 20 Championships to be held in Cali, Colombia from August 1st to 6th. Tobago, come out and support the National Junior Championships, July 9th and 10th at the Dwight York Stadium.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning. Good morning, morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning. Good morning, morning.
This is Jackson and you are watching the Tobago Updates morning show. And I am here at the Shore Park Multicultural Complex where we are going to be talking about the Miss Universe pageant. Yes, Miss Universe. Well, you know, with COVID-19 restrictions being lifted, we have the mask restrictions being lifted pretty soon. You know, events are coming back on stream and the Miss Universe pageant is, of course, one of them. And to talk to us a little bit about it is the Regional Coordinator for Tobago Crowns and Sashes, Mrs. Mersha Louie. How are you doing this morning?
I am great, Candice. Thank you for having me. How are you?
I am great. So I want you to tell us now, we are going to be doing a casting call here in Tobago and right here at the Shore Park Multicultural Complex. So I just want you to tell me a little bit about that coming up and what can people expect?
Okay, so it's really exciting. On Saturday, this Saturday, July the 9th, Crowns and Sashes, which is the national franchise holder for the Miss Universe pageant, will be having an open screening for people in Tobago who want to come out and be screened for the Miss Universe pageant. When you come out on Saturday, of course, you'll be bringing your short bio. You'll be bringing a copy of your resume. There's a $100 application fee. You'll be bringing a swimsuit as well because we want to see you, you know, strut your stuff and get a sense of what you really can bring to the table. And we'll be picking persons that can go ahead and start the training to go on that road to becoming Miss Trinidad and Tobago for the Miss Universe pageant.
Is this the first time the screening is taking place in Tobago?
It is actually, and we've actually been out of the Miss Universe competition for a while. Our last rep was Yvonne Clark, and that was in 2017. We are bringing it to Tobago for the first time because the company Crowns and Sashes, we really want to embody what it means to be a Trinbagonian in the truest sense of the word. So we're kicking off our screening in Tobago. This is the first one we're doing, and we're hoping to start with a bang, and we're hoping to have lots of people come out and really showcase what Tobago has to offer.
So tell me a little bit about what kind of candidates you guys are looking for Miss Universe.
Okay, so number one is confidence. We're looking for confidence. We're looking for young women between the ages of 18 to 28 who are unmarried, who have no children, and who are just ready to come out and have an open mind, represent the nation, be an ambassador for everything that is Trinbagonian, and go forward on the international stage and represent us at the pageant.
All right, so you listed a few things there.
Yes.
One of them, of course, is not being married.
Right.
Why is it that that's one of the requirements?
Okay, well, the reason why that would be a requirement would be because once you are selected as Miss Universe, you would need to go on a whirlwind year of engagements, from everything from philanthropy to appearances. You will literally be an ambassador for your nation and for the international brand. You'll be living in New York at the penthouse apartment, and it's so much that we want you to be able to be as flexible as possible, you know, so that you can be here, be there, be everywhere, and you can have that free sense of being present in the moment while you have your reign going on.
And I suppose that's also one of the reasons why one of the stipulations is that the women that are chosen are not mothers.
Yes, yes. But the thing is, pageants internationally are guided by the World Beauty Organization, and many people don't know, but there are so many pageants offered internationally that are catered to women in every stage of their lives. So there's Mrs. Universe. Those persons can be married, you know. So there are different competitions, from Top Model of the World to Miss Supranational to the Miss Universe pageant that we're currently dealing with. So if you are interested in pageantry, there is something out there for you. It's just a matter of getting out there and really looking for the information.
And why should somebody in Tobago be interested in taking part in Miss Universe?
Why not Tobago? Tobago is a breeding ground for so much talent. There's rich culture, rich history. The heritage is amazing. We have so much to be proud of as a people, and we've already contributed some memorable names to the pageant industry. There's Davia Chambers, there's Kenisha Tom, and I believe personally, and the company believes, that Tobago is a avenue that is still to be explored. There's so much to be offered, and if there's any place where we could potentially have our Miss Trinidad and Tobago for Miss Universe, it could very well be Tobago.
All right, and tell me a little bit about, you know, getting Trinidad and Tobago back on the map for the Miss Universe competition, because as you said, we haven't been a part of it in 2017.
Yes. Well, Crowns and Sashes is a company that is really holistic in the way that it does things. We've been performing really well in the other franchises that we have, the supranational franchise as well as the Top Model of the World. We just came off of our representative for Top Model, Dr. Sile Letren, placing third runner-up overall in the entire competition in Egypt earlier this year. So we have a reputation for putting together really well-rounded candidates that do well on the international scene. We focus not only on external beauty but also internal beauty. We put in a lot of work. So for example, when this screening is over and the other screenings are over, the candidates would come in and they would go through a rigorous training program, everything from image etiquette protocol to public speaking to developing business plans and project management to really create that well-rounded candidate that can put Trinidad and Tobago on the map, and we've been doing a really good job of doing that so far.
Alright, so is the Miss Universe pageant the only one that you guys are going to be focusing on in the near future?
Well, as we speak, we have two national candidates for Trinidad and Tobago that are currently representing us at the Mr. and Miss Supranational competitions in Poland. They are Winter Mason, he's Mr. Supra, and Christine Korpokas, I'm sure I pronounced that wrong, but Christine, and she's doing her thing in the Miss Supranational competition. They are out there currently working on that, and we are wishing them all the best and giving them full support from here in Trinidad and Tobago. And upcoming is the Miss Universe pageant, which normally takes place in December. So that's the focus going ahead.
Alright, so anybody who's planning to put themselves forward have to be prepared for December.
Yes, they would have to be prepared for December, but we have a stellar team of passionate individuals who work tirelessly night and day to get candidates ready, and this is something that they believe in. They eat, sleep and breathe pageants. So if there's anybody who can get it done, it's the Crowns and Sashes team.
And there's this notion that pageants are only for that superficial kind of thing, but pageants are much more than that.
Yes, they are.
And so I just want you to speak to us a little bit on that.
So, traditionally, yes, pageants have gotten sort of a bad rap about being superficial, but as times have become more modern, you've seen elements being added into the current pageant framework that facilitate that all-round candidate. So for example, Mr. and Mrs. Supranational that we have going on now, they have to actively not only do community service projects, they have to actually show that they are involved, deeply involved in the causes that they've selected to put forward for the judges. So you have to really walk the walk and talk the talk. And we as a company, when preparing candidates, as I said before, we focus on developing you as a person, even ensuring that you have a business going on, you know how to do your business. That's why we ask for your resume, because we're interested in your professional development and your growth. And this is a trend that we're also seeing replicated internationally in the pageant industry going forward. So there's so much to look forward to.
All right, great. So I just wanted to give us an idea again, you know, just the details. So hopefully the women that are listening, the young women that are listening,
yes,
I mean, a challenge to be a part of something like this.
Yes, and I would really like to say to those young women, you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to feel like you have it all together to come out and give the screening a try. We are looking for people who are open-minded, who are able, willing, and ready to learn and to grow with us. We mold you into what we know you can be. We bring that potential out. So don't feel as though you're maybe not there yet, or you're nervous, or you're scared. It's okay to be scared, but this is a step that can really launch you for the rest of your life. Because even those candidates who aren't eventually selected to be the final Miss Trinidad and Tobago candidate, they are exposed to training, to opportunities. They are added to a network of stakeholders and key persons in the industry that can open worlds of opportunities for you going forward. So it is truly an opportunity of a lifetime, and I am appealing to all eligible young women out there to come and try. Give it your best shot. You never know where this could take you.
And of course, Crowns and Sashes will be there to help support these young women.
The full team will be there not only on Saturday, but every step of the way going forward. Teaching, guiding, training. We are a family. We are so much more than a pageant and production company. We are a family. We take it so seriously. We bring each person into our family, and we mold them, shape them, and it just creates a stronger, better team, you know. And I think that's why we get such good results in our international efforts. It's because it comes from a place of love. Yeah.
All right, great. So again, just the details about, you know, when, where.
Okay, so this Saturday we are at the Shore Park Cultural Complex in Tobago for the screening for Miss Trinidad and Tobago Universe. We are Crowns and Sashes. We will be here on Saturday facilitating young women between the ages of 18 to 28 when they come in with their copy of their resume, their short bio, their $100 application fee, and we are advising them to work with swimsuits as well. And additionally, I need to add, they need to also work with headshots. 2 headshots, one smiling, one not smiling, and one full body photo. If you don't have all these things, that's completely fine. We are facilitating anybody who walks in. We'll sort you out with getting the rest of your documents together. We just really would like you to come out, meet with us, talk with us. Let's see what we can get going. Let's bring out the potential that you have inside.
All right, great. I want to thank you so much, Marsha, for speaking to us and telling us about that wonderful opportunity. That young woman, you out there, and like you said, you don't need to be perfect. You know, beauty comes in many different shapes and sizes. So don't worry. Put yourself out there. You never know what can happen. You never know what doors could be open. So that's it just for me for this segment. And we are just about to go to a break. But don't worry, Rhea and Julian will be right back with more after this.
Tobago Tobago, it's your turn. The N3ATT hosts its 2022 National Junior Championships at the Dwight York Stadium on July 9th and 10th at 10 a.m. on both days. Admission $40. Children under 12 are free. Come see the best junior athletes from across Trinidad and Tobago, including those from the 2022 Carifta Games. This is the last opportunity for athletes to attain the qualification standard for the World Under 20 Championships to be held in Cali, Colombia from August 1st to 6th. Tobago, come out and support the National Junior Championships, July 9th and 10th at the Dwight York Stadium.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning. Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Viewers, welcome back this morning to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. We are chatting at this time with Assemblyman Terrence Baines. Some say Assemblyman Pastor Terrence Baines. You just got to put in the pastor. Assemblyman Terrence Baines is on the program with us, area representative for Bethel New Grange. And this morning we're talking about the Baines Ball Bash. You talk about stuff here. All right, we're also going to be chatting a little bit about the road market as the secretary for the Division of Community Development, Youth Development and Sport. He'll be able to give us an idea and an update on what's happening. Good morning and welcome to you.
Good morning, ma'am.
It's good to have you on the program with us. I'm not sure what's happening, Pastor Baines,
no, I'm good.
Or Assemblyman Baines, but you know, Mr. Parks said this morning, what is going on with Pastor Baines this morning?
I don't understand, Parks. My buttons is very bright and splendiferous. I don't understand, you know.
We can't handle you when you are sedate. This is not the Pastor Baines that we know. We don't want a sedate Baines, okay?
Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure to have you with us. Let's start off this morning by talking about the Baines Ball Bash.
Yes.
And this initiative. What is the rationale behind it?
Well, I mean, you know, we now outside.
Yeah.
You understand?
I like how you put it. We now outside.
We outside, and it's been a real tough past 2 years and so on for most of us in the communities and so on. So, you know, it is of paramount importance that we have some activities that can engage the communities and so on, bring us together, play some sports. Lord knows we need some exercise.
Yes.
You understand? You know, and add a little financial refreshment to those who win and that kind of stuff. So it is more about a community kind of building and consolidation and so on, and just spending time with each other, you know, around a sporting event. Pretty much, that's what it's about.
And why this event?
Well, I mean, I thought about some of the sports, especially like basketball and netball in and around the Bethel New Grange area. I found that it's kind of dying off, you know. The kind of enthusiasm and excitement and involvement that used to be, let's say, in the 90s and one does not get stuck in the past, but I thought that it would have been good for us to perhaps do something that hopefully we can revive that sport too, you know. So that's that part of it. I have never played netball in my life. You know, it's a mentality thing. We always think netball is a girls thing. Yes. But I am finding out, I was informed that they have mixed teams and they have male netball teams and all that. So that would be interesting to see how that goes. I am prepared to play have my own basketball team. I'm prepared to be on the football team. In fact, I've been challenging my friends, my colleagues to have a secretary 7.
Well, that should be interesting.
Yes, I don't know. So big ballers like Tate and Niall George and Nazi Sampson.
You're putting them out there.
Yes, and Cole, the big forward from Dallaford. We expect to see all these men. I've been challenging my colleagues, Dr. Faith, Secretary Morrison, Assistant Secretary Morrison, Secretary Boris, Zarisha told them, get your pleated skirts out. You understand? And Dr. Faith, with her wise self, asked me, what are we going to do with these pleated skirts? I don't understand what she means. But we expect to have a really, really fantastic time. And I'm still hopeful. I'm still hopeful to see Dr. Faith, Zarisha Hackett, Megan Morrison, especially Megan in those pleated skirts.
She may surprise you.
I'm telling you. So this is happening tomorrow. Yes.
No, I tell you, viewers, never a dull moment when Assemblyman Baines is on the program. So we're talking basketball, netball, and small goals. So it's all type of balls. All type of balls taking place here. You said it's tomorrow, so that is
the basketball and the netball is tomorrow, Friday.
Right.
And we reserve Saturday for the small goals. So Saturday is football right through.
All right. Now, is it only for residents?
No. Anywhere in Tobago. In fact, if you live on Little Tobago or Giles and you have a team, you can come and be a part of the thing. You understand? Yes. We want to have some fun, just kind of relax and kick back. There's just so much stress around, man.
Yeah.
Jeez. So we want to enjoy the time of just playing some sport.
All right. It's happening at the Montgomery grounds.
Yes.
And there's a registration that needs to take place before.
Each team, the registration is $200 for the teams and so on. And of course, the prizes for the football range from 5,000 at the top, and then 3 and coming down.
Right.
And for the basketball, 3,000. Then I think it's 2,001 or 1,500 at the second prize. Either way, you win, you come second, you're getting some money.
More than you had before.
Indeed.
More than you had before.
Indeed.
All right, and you can call the numbers 660-4794 or 353-7831. Wouldn't this be interesting to see the secretaries 7 aside? I would love to see
course. So I want to say it again on Tobago updates. We're looking for Tate. He's a big forward from Patience Hill. Right? We're looking for Nutsi Sampson, big forward from Canaan Bonaccord. At least so he tells us. We're looking for Niall George from Plymouth. Big forward again. We're looking for, of course, my colleague, Wayne Was. You understand? And then, of course, the big forward from Dallaford, Mr. Kerr. We're looking for this, for everybody, you understand, that we're going to have a great time. And of course, the Chief Secretary himself boasts a lot about a side called Sidees. I never heard about that side before, in all honesty. I only hear about Sidees since I met the Chief Secretary. So we expect that he will be making a cameo appearance. You understand? And please walk with your Bengay, just in case. Just in case. That is part of the starter kit. You have to have your little Bengay thing. You understand? Get some little thing, just in case. We have all that. And we'll have make sure we have them guys with the ambulance close by. You know what I mean? EMTs are rather close by, just in case, because some of us are a little bit up there. And we want to, we don't want to, there's a thin line between faith and foolishness. So we want to make sure that we have everything in place. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Assemblyman Baines, very quickly here. Now, also happening today is the Tobago Road Market Experience. So give us some quick information on that in about 2 minutes or so, because Mr. Director is saying that we got to wrap up.
Yes. Every time I come here, Parks does be saying time to wrap up. Every time I come here, I don't understand it. That's why I would prefer to deal with Mr. Nana at the top and forget about dealing with Parks. All right. Parks is my friend. So yesterday... Today is the Road Market 6 happening in Castara. Castara is a very interesting community, especially with their entrepreneurial push and so on. And we thought about taking the night market there. It begins at 2 today. They're going to have some sporting activities, some motorboat, I believe, and strongman and all kind of thing. And then we'll have an official function starting at about 5. And then later on, we have some entertainment. Creed, Stephanie, Joseph, Adana, Roberts, and some others. We have some full entertainment, and then the night market where you can shop till you drop. I am sure your prices will be better. You might get flour cheap up there tonight. Trust me, you might get flour. It's very possible that flour will be cheaper in Castara.
And maybe the alternative to flour.
Yes, but any alternative, you know, yeah.
All right, and that's the road market experience.
Indeed,
so don't wait on the day, and they were advising persons to pre-register at that time. So it's happening later this evening. You don't want to miss it. It's I understand, and it culminates with the bonfire.
Yes, and that's true. One of the reasons why we have it on a Thursday is to marry that with the bonfire experience. I have never experienced the bonfire, so this will be my first time. And I'm looking forward to it. And I forgot to say that Terence Baines will be making a cameo appearance as one of the entertainers as well. How could I forget such a thing?
I tell you, how could you forget such a thing? Terence Baines himself. All right, now viewers, Assemblyman is going to stay on with us as we head over to Tobago Notes.
In the coming months, Destination Tobago will participate in a number of road shows and travel markets. This will ensure Tobago's source market partners are aware that the island is ready to welcome visitors and provide them with great memories. That's just one of the plans of the new 12-member board of directors at the Tobago Tourism Agency Limited, TTAL. Another area of focus for the new board is making the most out of the airlift opportunities, especially the one coming out of the United States.
One of the things that we're hopping on is the fact that there's now a direct flight between JFK and Tobago. Previously, the agency had no direct marketing interaction or support in the US market, and we're working now to create a situation where we have a rep in the US market. The links, first of all, the diaspora demand, and also getting into just generic demand from that particular market.
And even as we look to attract more foreign visitors, the chairman of TTAL gives the assurance that our domestic market will not be neglected. So promoting staycations is another key factor in increasing visitor arrivals.
The second thing that we would be interested in is focusing a little more on domestic marketing. What COVID has shown us is that while it's all right for us to focus on the external market for tourism, we cannot get away from the staycations and the domestic demand that can help to buoy us through a future rough period.
Since the board's appointment about 3 months ago, there's been questions about the Tobago Beyond branding. Ms. Edwards says her team sees the valuable potential this label has for the island.
The Tobago Beyond Ordinary gives us an opportunity to build out and round out our marketing message to really showcase all the things that make Tobago special, or harvest, or culture, the way that we could just go and buy fresh fish, and all the things that just make my island beautiful. So we definitely will be working on using local content, using local influencers, more local music, more local shots, basically selling the destination from the eyes of a Tobagonian.
The new board will also continue to support the agency's sustainability strategies, like facilitating the Green Key and Blue Flag certification programs.
They have gotten the Green Key and they're working on the Blue Flag certification, and we think that if we're going to continue to sell ourselves as a Beyond Ordinary island, those international certifications will help us to position ourselves properly in that market, and also as well to perpetuate the narrative that we're actually doing the things that we say we want to be doing.
The board will also work with TTAL's employees as well as local stakeholders to strengthen the island's offerings to visitors.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
And viewers, we continue our discussion this morning with Assemblyman Terence Baines about the night market taking place in Castara later on this evening, as well as the Baines Ball Bash, all right, happening today and tomorrow. Today and tomorrow? Tomorrow and Saturday. That's right, tomorrow and Saturday. All right, so Assemblyman Baines, seeing that you're still on with us as we're getting ready to wrap up here.
This is impressive. This is a miracle. This is a miracle. Parks for me, boy.
Viewers, never a dull moment, never a dull moment.
Yes.
So we're heading into our Tobago back in the day, and this is our Tobago back in the day photo. And I love it when our viewers on the live get involved. So where is this? Pastor Bates, we're going to give you the first crack.
Well, it certainly is the port, because we see boats and we see the sea. So that's a clue.
Well, you know, it could be a fishing village, but what else determines?
No, it's too built up to just be a.
To just be. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying.
Port, and it resembles the eastern part of the port as well.
Huh?
The eastern side, where customs and
right. Yeah, I'm thinking because I'm looking at the building on the left, and it resembles one of those buildings that still exist today. And it's also interesting how Tobago has changed. Look at the cars.
Yeah.
Yes. So we say it's the port. We say it's the port. We're gonna go with the port and hear what persons on the live have to say. All right, but thank you so much, Pastor Baines, Assemblyman Baines, for being on the program with us. All right, so we head on over to GMT in just a little while, but even as we go, don't forget, it's happening at Castara later today, and the Baines Ball Bash tomorrow into Saturday. So lots of activities taking place in Tobago, and for the weekend, as we head on over into the weekend, viewers, tomorrow's program is going to be quite interesting. We've got Julian on set alone as we focus on our men folk, men's health and other issues taking place tomorrow. So that's going to be the program set for tomorrow. So it's going to be really interesting. All right, so as we said, we head over to GMT with Candace in just a little while. But even as we go, we say thank you for joining us today. Have a great day. Stay safe on the roads. Remember to wear your mask, sanitize, and social. Come on, Pastor Baines, you got to do it with me. Socially distance. Yeah, we do it like that, yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, we're not touching. We're just making sure we don't touch it. That's it.
Oh, okay. Until the 17th.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denasia.
Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers, we are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying. Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me. Together we stronger. Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Tobago.
Welcome to Good Morning Tobago on Tobago Updates, your source for current affairs in Tobago, Trinidad and the region, with the perfect conversations to complement your morning routine. I am Candace Jackson, and I am coming to you live from the boardwalk in Buku. And let's get started with our news in 90 seconds. The Tobago Council of the PNM condemns the treatment of employment contracts by the PDP-led THA. Yesterday, Chief Secretary Fali Augustine warned that the renewal of employment contracts is not automatic and is subject to scrutiny. In a press release, the PNM stated that it erodes the integrity of contract employment. They believe short-term contract employees should have reasonable expectations of continued engagement if their performance levels are maintained. According to the PNM, leaving re-engagement of contracts up to the line secretaries subjects employees to the mercy of political bias. Meanwhile, several contractors are still awaiting payment from the THA for work completed in 2021. The contractors said they delivered invoices to the THA before elections in December 2021, but their bills are still outstanding as of July 2022. Earlier this year, Chief Secretary Fali Augustine revealed that the THA owes almost $1 billion to contractors. He committed to paying the contractors for their work in increments, but only after an audit. He assured the media that delays are only because due diligence is taking place, but promised the payments will soon be released. And nationally, from July 17th, face masks are no longer mandated. The Minister of Health, Terence Dialsingh, announced the mask mandate removal yesterday at the weekly Ministry of Health press conference. However, the requirements for masks remain in place for all health facilities nationwide. Meanwhile, Dialsingh advised people with respiratory conditions, the elderly, the pregnant, and the unvaccinated to continue wearing the face mask because they are vulnerable to the COVID-19 virus. Additionally, he advised the public to wear masks in closed settings where social distancing is not possible. And that was the news in 90 seconds. Well, we have a bit of a jam-packed program coming up for you on GMT this morning. Of course, we'll be speaking with Kelly Manette, and of course, who is one of the directors on the Buccal Reef Trust, about some fun camps coming up later on this month. And then, of course, we'll be speaking with Mr. Gerald Orr, who is the PRO for Arcadia Mass, and we'll be talking about the Ancestry and Legacy Band launch, because, of course, we are getting ready for Carnival in October. So, let's see what do these people have in store for us. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after a very, very quick break.
The Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection presents Men and Fatherhood, the discussion, 8th July 2022, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. The topics to be discussed: masculinity and fatherhood. Nigel Phillips, Gender Affairs Officer, Division of Health, Wellness and Social Protection. Kern Walker, Manager Community Residence for Children, Building Healthy Relationships. Michael Stewart, Founder of Be Male Examples Now, BMEN, and motivational speaker. This is a day for men, the 8th of July, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. only on Tobago Updates.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
The Street 919 FM and the Tobago Updates presents the Tobago Updates Morning Show live simulcast on the Street 919 FM. Start your day with all the information you want and need with the simulcast of the Tobago Updates Morning Show live Mondays to Fridays from 7 a.m. on the Street 919 FM, the official station that defends the nation.
Excel Spa by Haley, where our highly trained staff are ready to deliver the top-class services in facial massages, waxing, nail enhancement and body treatment. We are ideally located at Coco Avenue, Susolands, Tobago. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, TripAdvisor, or you can call us on 730-0149. Excel Spa by Haley. Relax, renew, and rejuvenate.
Tobago updates. Good morning, Tobago. Wake up with Candace and Denise.
Let's go. It's a brand new morning. Rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong.
Welcome back to Good Morning Tobago. Of course, I am Candace Jackson, and we are here in Buccal on the boardwalk, where we are going to be talking about a special camp coming up with the Buccal Reef Trust. And to talk to us is one of the directors, Miss Kelly Manette. A special good morning to you.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Tobago.
All right, great. So we're talking about a camp coming up during the July-August vacation. So I want you to tell me a little bit about this camp and why people should come and be a part of it.
All right, so we actually have 4 camps, and it's under the Season and Science program. So our Season and Science program is part of the Boca Reef Trust initiative to bring awareness and educate our young ones about the marine environment and our coastal environment. So our camps are scheduled to take place from the 11th to the 19th of July. This camp will be for the secondary school students from forms 1 to 3. And from the 2nd to the 5th of August, we have what we call the Polyp Pioneers. So this camp is catering for our preschoolers from the ages of 3 to 5 years old, and it runs from the 2nd to the 5th of August. On the 8th to the 19th of August, we are catering for 4th to 5th formers. So this is the Season and Science Trailblazers program. And the Junior Sea Stars program, which caters to our primary school students, it runs from the 22nd to the 26th of August. So these 4 programs will be jam-packed with activities, all catering for educating our young ones about the marine and coastal environment. So they can look forward to activities such as scuba diving, an introduction to snorkeling, the reef tour of the Boca Reef, as well as the Speyside Marine Protected Area. We also have turtle watching. We have a tour of the mangrove, as well as competitions where our young ones have a chance to win prizes and to also interact with their peers and learn through doing and experiencing what Tobago has here as a very precious resource.
Why is it so important that our young ones get involved and get very intimate with our marine space?
So Tobago is an island. We are surrounded by water. And what we want to do at the Boca Reef Trust is inculcate a sense of stewardship for our marine environment. We don't want to wait for our young ones to be adults and to be the leaders to then decide to make a change and make a difference in how we manage and how we treat with our marine environment. So this is our initiative to collaborate with a lot of entities, including the THA. We have a lot of facilitators, for example, Species. We have Frontier Divers Limited, and they will all assist us in terms of how we educate our young ones, how we get them really passionate about our marine environment, and also guide their career choices. So we hope to see out of our programs a lot of young persons eventually choosing the path of marine sciences, and we hope that it will also open up avenues for marine sciences to be taken a lot more seriously right here in Tobago through the establishment of maybe tertiary education institutes that can facilitate it.
All right. And we know that actually, well, I'm not sure if many people know, but if they don't know, they should know this morning that, you know, getting involved in marine sciences and just anything to do with the water is actually very, very lucrative. And I just want you to explain to me about, you know, some of the opportunities that are there for our young people to get involved so that we don't have to depend on experts in the country to come and do what we need to be doing for our island.
Oh, well, I like how you put that. So in our program, we actually have experts from right here in Trinidad and Tobago who are making their name not only on the local scene and in the Caribbean, but on the international scene as well. So we have a lot of talent here in Tobago, and when we expose our young persons to it, we show them that marine sciences is not something that we just see outside or on TV. It is something that we can do here in Tobago and actually generate incomes. So, for example, we are in Buku, and one of our facilitators is Johnson's Reef Tours. So our reef tour operators, that
and
is...
big up to Mr. Johnson.
Yes, Mr. Johnson. He has been our long-standing tour operator since the inception of our program, and we look forward to many more years with him, right? So we have reef tour operators. We also have persons in the tech that like the diving, so Frontier Divers Limited. We have researchers that actually go out in the field, collect data, come back and analyze, and then can inform policy makers and decision makers in terms of how best we can manage and sustainably use the marine resources. And let's not forget our educators. We have a large group of educators in Tobago, and It is also important to note that the marine sciences should play a critical part in our school curriculum and our daily learning of our marine environment. So we have a lot of job opportunities, we have a lot of career paths that even if it doesn't leave us here in Tobago, it can take our young persons outside of Trinidad and Tobago into the Caribbean, where they can make their name not only for themselves but for our country.
And we know that, I mean, it starts with getting our young people exposed. Yeah. And this is not the first time you've done some of these camps. Like this has been going on for several years. Can you tell me a little bit about what's it like when you expose our young children and our young people to the sea in general? What is it like, and how does this help them in developing themselves?
Well, so our program has been running since 2005, and we missed maybe a few years in between, but generally we have been running this program since 2005, initially with 4th to 6th form students. And then we recognized the importance of extending it to our younger persons, so we eventually opened it up to 1st to 3rd form, and now primary school and preschoolers. And very interestingly, our past chief secretary, he was also one of the participants of Season and Science, all right? So we do have a lot of our young persons that I have actually interacted with during the program going on to study at tertiary level and also obtaining jobs, not only in the THA, but in marine sciences right here in Tobago, and giving back to Tobago, giving back to Trinidad and Tobago. So it is something that is very heartwarming to see that the program has actually influenced our young persons to remain in this field and then turn around and give back to Tobago.
And now let's talk about safety, because of course when you involve children and sea, safety is a major concern for parents and guardians. What do you have in place to ensure that our young ones are safe?
All right, so since the inception of the program, I would say, thank God, we have never had any incidents, and we plan to keep it that way. So with safety in mind, we do have our participants divided into groups, and each group is going to be monitored and supervised by a designated volunteer. Those volunteers are then supervised by the camp counselors and the program coordinators. In addition to this, we do have life jackets, and we are first aid trained, so we do have that additional training to support in the event that we do have an emergency. We are using facilitators that have a tried and tested and true track record where they have not also had any incidents, and we also have an open line of communication with regards to our students and the facilitators. So when our parents drop our participants off to camps, they do not leave with anybody that's not assigned to pick them up. We make sure a volunteer accompanies our participants at any point in time. And just to mention, we are hosting the program at the Buku Integrated Facility. So thank you for the sponsorship from Buku Integrated Facility. So safety is our number one priority when it comes to reef tours. The younger kids, when we do take them out, they are not going to be in deep waters. We have them in a more controlled environment where the water is shallow enough that they can enjoy it and actually learn to use the marine environment, but it's not deep enough that we have any issues arising. So with regards to safety, we have our trainees and we have our responders also on hand that we can call on them if needed.
Great. And how can parents get their children involved? Where do they need to go? Who do they need to contact to register their children?
Okay, so to register our students, you can contact myself, Miss Kelly Manette Cameo, at the Buku Reef Trust. Our phone number is 302-6690. So I'll repeat it. It's 302-6690, or you can email us at bukureeftrust@gmail.com, and I can also forward a link to parents that they can register online. It's also going to be available on our website as well as on social media. So the link is available where you can click and pre-register your child, and we will follow up with an email with additional information.
Okay, great. And what about, like do they have to register to be a part of it, or is it something where you would be able to accommodate people that walk into the camps?
Well, so this year our program is actually sponsored by Woodside Energy, and because it's sponsored for the secondary school level, those camps are free of charge, and we do have a cutoff in terms of the amount of participants we can accommodate. So it is going to be based on a first come first serve basis. We may not be able to facilitate walk-ins at this point because of still trying to keep with the COVID protocols and have our safety at mind. We are managing the numbers. So we really are looking at registration and a first come first serve basis.
Okay, great. So there you have it, folks. If you want to get involved, get connected with Boca Reef Trust. If you missed the numbers, just Google it or just look it up on social media. The minute you type it in, it will come up. So, just before we go, I just want you to just, give the viewers a reason why they should send their children to be a part of this.
So, this program is one that is an unforgettable learning experience, unlike any other that your child will be exposed to. They will have a hands-on, first-hand view of what Tobago has as a learning environment. Our classroom is our environment, and when our students leave this program, I guarantee you they will want to either get into the field of marine sciences or be interested in finding out more. So I urge you parents, let your children come out and be a part of this program so that they can experience Tobago and marine sciences in a hands-on manner.
All right, and of course, it's all about making sure that we have a future on this island. We depend on the sea for our tourism and our job security, our economy. It's very much tied to us. So why not have our own children grow up to be people that take care and manage our marine space? All right, so folks, that's it for this interview, but don't worry, we'll be right back after this break.
Tobago, it's your turn. The N3ATT hosts its 2022 National Junior Championships at the Dwight York Stadium on July 9th and 10th at 10 a.m. on both days. Admission $40. Children under 12 are free. Come see the best junior athletes from across Trinidad and Tobago, including those from the 2022 Carifta Games. This is the last opportunity for athletes to attain the qualification standard for the World Under 20 Championships to be held in Cali, Colombia from August 1st to 6th. Tobago, come out and support the National Junior Championships, July 9th and 10th at the Dwight York Stadium. Staying Alive, the benefit concert, Saturday, 9th July at O2 Park, Chagaramas. The Giants of Trinidad and Tobago on one stage.
Come and celebrate with us as we celebrate life and give thanks for the music. And we go down like kitty kill, kitty kill, kitty kill, kitty kill, kitty kill. We have a style like kitty kill, kitty kill, kitty kill.
Guess the band.
You want to know where we coming from? Say you want come look for me, yeah. If you're willing to have some fun, I could keep you company.
Staying Alive, the benefit concert.
There is nowhere else in the world you could see all of these giants on one stage.
Guess the band. Michelle Montano, Freetown Collective, 3 Canal, Orange Sky, plus many more artists to be announced. Tickets available online at islandetickets.com, all Häagen-Dazs outlets nationwide, and Ojo World, Saturday, 9th July at O2 Park, Chagaramas. Conquering all the obstacles.
Staying Alive, the benefit concert.
To a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. 60,000 people strong and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers, we are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me, together we stronger.
Tobago. Of course, I am Candace Jackson, and we are still live at the boardwalk in Buku, where we are continuing our conversations this morning. And joining me is Mr. Gerald Orr. He is the PRO of Arcadia Mass.
Yes,
right.
yes, yes.
Arcadia Mass, and we are going to be talking about the launch of Legacy and
Ancestry.
Legacy and Ancestry. And of course, we know that we have Carnival coming up in October, and in Tobago we are getting ready for the return of Carnival, and there's a whole lot of good stuff that's going to be happening in October. And of course, we have to get started early with the band launches and that sort of thing. So I want to say a special good morning to you, Mr. Orr, and welcome to the program.
Yes, good morning, thank you for having us.
Okay, great. So first of all, I just want you to tell me a little bit about Arcadia. What is Arcadia?
Well, Arcadia is a band that is straight out of Tobago. It's a bunch of years we came into being when we heard the opportunity of Tobago Carnival. So that is what Arcadia is about. It's a diverse group of young individuals that is going to bring something to the Tobago space in terms of Tobago Carnival.
Great. So your name of the band launch is Ancestry and Legacy.
Yeah, that's the theme of the band that we're going to put on the road for Tobago Carnival, Ancestry and Legacy.
And tell me, what's the inspiration behind it?
Well, one of the inspirations behind is that we want to also bring something to the Tobago space, but also bring something from our heritage. And part of it is that members of the band also come from different bands. Myself and Atiba Dillon, who is the band leader. So we also want to pay homage to the people that came before us, and that is part of the ancestry and the legacy that we want to have the band carrying forward.
Okay, so what's so unique about it, and why should people be interested in what you guys have to offer and to join in?
Well, the thing that's unique about Arcadia, I would always say, is the energy and the vibe, and also the way that we infuse our heritage and every part of Tobago and the real Tobago experience. That is something that we are going to give to the Tobagonians and the wider region and internationally. And I think that's something that is going to separate us for the Tobago Carnival 2022.
Okay, so you have your band launch coming up soon. So can you tell the viewers when it is?
The band launch is this Saturday, July the 9th. It's going to be at Johnny Q Pub House. Right, it's going to be something very exciting. I'm so excited. I can't wait for Tobago to see that what we're going to do. We're going to bring a band launch that is unusual to the Tobago space. We want to raise the level, and that's something that Arcadia is about.
All right, but I know you don't want to give out too much details, but can you give us an idea or a little couple hints as to what we can expect on Saturday?
What you can expect on Saturday is something very innovative, something touch of Tobago with I want to see the experience that Tobago gives, that unity, because the band launch is going to feel inclusive. So everyone there is going to feel like they are part of the band, even when they're not registered yet. That is the great thing about it, because we want to have everybody inclusive and feel one with the band and the experience that we are going to give them on the road.
All right, so we haven't had the band launch yet, but of course you're feeling the vibes. Viewers, are you feeling that vibe? Up to me to join in. So how can people be able to get connected with you guys and to be a part of that band on Carnival in October?
All right, well, some of our handles right now is Arcadia Mass on Instagram, and also we are going to fully launch our website on Saturday, where people are going to be able to see our costumes and also get information on how you can register to play with Arcadia Band.
All right, so I know we haven't had too much yet in terms of events and exactly how that Carnival weekend is going to play out, right? And we're still awaiting from the committee and so on about those details. But what are you guys planning, or how are you guys, what events are you planning to have around that time to involve the people?
Well, that's one thing that I would say with our group. We are a proactive group. I know that the committee is still sorting out certain kinks, but we have a lot of marketing strategies that we are going to let people see what Arcadia is about and also promote Tobago Carnival. So that is one thing that we wanted to make sure that the band launch is something that could also sell the Tobago Carnival and also the experience. And we have a lot of other ideas. I don't want to give it away too much because, we have other people in the space, but that we're going to let people know what is the vibe of Arcadia and also Tobago Carnival. So we're going to use also organic feel of Tobago, and we're going to use all the mediums that possible to get the business out there.
And are you guys collaborated with any of the band leaders in Trinidad?
No, that's it. We are authentic Tobago, so we're giving that authentic Tobago experience, and it's coming from us, from Tobago. So like I would say, our we thing. This is our we thing, and I'm proud of that. That our band is a bunch of Tobagonians that are coming together and trying, and we are going to give a great training for this Tobago Carnival.
Great. And looking ahead to the Tobago Carnival, what are you looking forward to? Just as, you know, somebody who loves the arts and somebody who loves Carnival, what are you looking forward to in October?
Well, I'm looking forward to that where it is now called Tobago Carnival. I think that sometimes we used to get lost in the Trinidad Tobago Carnival, and when you go abroad, people just say they're going back home for Trinidad Carnival. But for October, you will be going home for Tobago Carnival, and I think it's going to be great for the island. We're going to be able to showcase the island of Tobago to other people outside of who wouldn't be able to remember Tobago when they hear Trinidad and Tobago. So this is our time for us to shine. So that's what I'm looking forward to for this Tobago Carnival.
All right, great. Now for the event on Saturday, is there any cost?
Yes, there's going to be a cover charge of $60, right? And trust me, it is worth it, because we're going to give you a group of great entertainers. Like we have Shal Marshall, who's going to bring the vibes. He also gives the energy that Arcadia is going to give, because you know he's an inclusive person, and that is the thing that we also have Mighty Crush from Radio Tambourine. We have 3D and Snoopy. We also have Major Hype. So we have a great cast, and it's going to be a good vibes at the band launch on Saturday.
All right, great. So I want to thank you, Mr. O, for joining us and to tell us a little bit about it. And I'm just going to give you one more chance to promote it and to tell the viewers why they should come down to Johnny Q Pub House on Saturday.
Okay, well, I would say the reason why you need to come down to Johnny Q Pub House, because Arcadia is the band and the brand and the real Tobago experience for the Tobago Carnival. I'm telling you, we're going to bring all the vibes, the energy, the oneness, the love of Tobago, and you don't want to miss it.
All right, well, thank you. So there you have it, viewers. So don't be afraid to get involved and don't be afraid to come on down. I mean, we're getting excited here in Tobago. We're seeing more and more bands release their stuff. So, I mean, Carnival in October is shaping up to be one very, very exciting event. And you know, Tobago Updates has you covered for all of these events, especially that of Tobago Carnival. All right, so I mean, I just want to thank you again, Mr. O, for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Tobago.
Right, and viewers, don't worry, we have a lot more in store for you in the coming weeks and months. Of course, tomorrow we know on the Tobago Updates morning show is going to be a special men's edition with Julian Skeet, and it's going to be also in collaboration with Mr. Michael Stewart. So it's a lot of exciting things to look forward to tomorrow. The focus is on men. So tune in from 7 a.m. tomorrow and to catch all that details and those wonderful conversations that are going to come out. But you will see me again on Monday as we return for the regular Tobago Updates morning show and Good Morning Tobago. So I want to thank you again, viewers, for joining us and for staying with us and for supporting us. Have a wonderful, safe and productive day, and we'll see you again. This is Candice Jackson with the Tobago Updates Good Morning Show, and see you then.
To a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong.